Hello everyone, I am Walt, and today we will be beginning our unit number 8 material for internet psychology stiff here. Yep. Okay, so unit number 8 is all about motivation. Yes, motivation on the internet. So, we're talking about our favorite motivational videos or what? Well, we're going to cover a few interesting aspects. We're going to cover boredom, for example, in this first video. And later on, we'll go through a little bit of the types of motivation people can have. And of course, one of the favorite topics of binge watching will be our next topic. So, we're going to get through some of that kind of stuff in this unit. So, anyway, let's dive on in. So, let's start off with boredom. Boredom. People have kept blaming the internet for loss of attention spans, which we'll discuss a little bit in unit number 9's videos. But still, people keep saying, oh, the internet's ruining, this, and it's making people, bored all the time. They're not, paying the proper amount of attention, particularly this case with laptops in lecture halls. Professors keep saying, oh, laptops, these must ruin students' performance. You can't take as good notes on a laptop as you can. They won't learn as much. They'll just write the notes down blindly, and they'll surf the web. They'll go clothes shopping, they'll play games. They're not going to pay attention to my lecture. And so a lot of professors ban laptops, or they do things like segregate people who use them. They do stuff like that. And this ends up being just completely pointless because laptop learning is proven by the articles I've linked up in the description here. Laptop learning is just as good as taking notes by hand, so there's no real problem there. Yet, one of the big problems is the fact that professors have a lower job satisfaction and a lower rating of self-efficacy if you have people with laptops, because a huge portion of what professors judge themselves by at an unconscious level is thanks to this kind of thing with people's nonverbal responses. So how they nod their heads and stuff like that, make eye contact. This has a huge impact, but it's entirely at a subconscious level, where people don't know that this is what they get their self-efficacy rating and their job satisfaction from, but it really is. So laptop people tend to have their eyes more on the computer, and then this will enrage professors at a subconscious level many times. Anyway, I've linked up some of the articles if you guys want to check out some of that info. But yeah, I think it's an interesting topic for why that is. But boredom is not new. People have been dealing with boredom forever, and actually, going on the internet briefly can really refocus people, because you can't pay attention to one thing forever. So taking short attention breaks can be very effective. There's a good example of with anesthesiologists there. Words can be hard sometimes. So anesthesiologists who, are monitoring somebody's vitals and stuff, yet they tend to surf the web, for 15 minutes for every 60 that they end up doing work. So for every 75 minutes, 15 minutes of it, they tend to be surfing the web and doing other computer unrelated tasks, yet they're very effective at their jobs. Why is this? Well, the answer is simply people can't pay attention to one thing forever, so wanting people to pay attention at work or school forever is a problem. So allow them to have short, breaks, basically to refuel their ability to focus. Boredom is just one of those things when it comes to focus. Our brains are not things that can focus indefinitely forever. That is just kind of how things are. But yeah, so that's about it on this one. Boredom is something that has happened as old as time. You've always had bad students in classes. That's no new thing. If they weren't, on their smartphone like they are now, previously they were doing things like watching on mini TVs, doing things like reading books or newspapers in class. So this can actually be useful for refocusing people. So it's not actually that as big a deal as people think it is, and it can actually be useful to be able to use the internet briefly in class. Now, if you spend all your time doing that in class, problem. But it's less distracting than most professors think based on some of the studies I've linked up. So boredom is just one of those things that happens. Just have to learn to accept that one. And what you really need to do is boost professors' understandings of the fact that computers are not as big a disturbance to people around them as you might think. And of course, the fact that, this is something that can help the students as well for their learning overall. So not segregating laptop users, also very useful. But yeah, that is about it for the beginning of Unit 8 here with motivation on the internet. So I will see you guys next time with part number 2, where we talk about binge watching. I'll see you then.